Newsflash, ugly spaghetti bananas just got cancelled. Let me introduce water. Because our slimes are hydro homies and like to stay hydrated. Damn son, look at those lines. The last time you caught up with me, I just managed to get these wobbly fellows to assemble and mob the local supermarket. I know what you're thinking, they aren't social distancing. Oh, and also those bananas look like crap, right? Agreed. Well, we'll get to what I did with that later. Firstly, a new pathfinding system was one of the main focuses of this update. Up until now, the slimes just kinda rotated between fixed points on the map. Now they can go to other exciting places, like home. Speaking of home, unlike me in this current housing market, my little slimes now have houses to crawl back to after a long hard day of buying bananas that aren't exactly aesthetically pleasing. These houses can have as many slimes living in them as we want. Let's put the new water and pathfinding systems together, and what do we get? Capitalism. That's right, except without money, because that's for a future update. To create demand for the water, I had to add another crucial mechanic, a hunger system. Again, let's reserve our judgments. I'm obviously not the sharpest banana in the shed. Now, when a slime's hunger bar drops too low, they'll go and shoplift some water to satisfy their cravings. So that's a summary, but really just the tip of the banana that is this devlog. Now, let me tell you a little bit about how I actually added these things, because goddamn did it turn out that our gym bro slimes have a hard time getting their swole arms through those doors. As it turns out, these little chaps have been hitting the gym while I was away. And what do you know? They are too swole to get through the doors to their own homes. Their biceps are so ridiculously huge that they even occasionally block their fellow slimes getting home. It may or may not have something to do with me not managing to get my collision maps right on my tile sets, but we'll get to that. Let's address the change in graphics. I've been learning that less is more. And thanks to some subtle persuasion from our Discord group, link in the description, I made the move to 16 by 16 characters instead of the 32 I've had until now. This is important because when you're in the early stages of improving, you really want to nail down those basics. So I'm going to try and stick with that resolution for now until I get less bad at making assets and figure out what my color palette is. Then we have the pathfinding system. This was actually surprisingly fun to make. Using the navigation 2D node with a tile map, I was able to get a slime to move to a target with relatively few lines of code. Where the complexity comes from is when we start trying to layer logic on top of this to give the slimes some more organic and complex behavior. We want the slimes to be able to go to multiple locations, so we definitely don't want to hard code their targets, which is what I'd been doing so far to get the looping effect that you saw earlier. Instead, we need a system that just takes a generic path and follows it. I then have a callback that the slime calls to say, hey, I got wherever you sent me, and then from there the schedule manager can choose the next place to send our slimy friends. When it comes to housing, our slimes have it easy, the lucky bastards. I added a controller that allows me to place little nodes in each building I want to consider a home. One home node represents capacity for one slime in that building. As soon as the game starts, these nodes all place themselves in a big home group thanks to the group signaling system in Godot. The controller then loops through each NPC and assigns them randomly to a home until all slimes have a home or all homes are filled. So you heard me mentioning a schedule controller. Well, think of this thing as an annoying manager that randomly tells people to do things if they've been standing around for too long. It's responsible for telling slimes what they should be doing and when to do it. All slimes start off by registering themselves as idle with the schedule controller. Every 60 seconds or so, the schedule controller goes through each idle slime and sees what needs they have. For now, that's basically being at home and getting water if they're hungry. The needs that the schedule manager checks against can also be prioritized. For example, we check for hunger prior to checking if we want to go home. Once a need is established, the schedule manager works with the navigation system to get the NPC either a path to the nearest water bottle for it to steal, or to go back to their home. You can see how these systems of schedule managing, navigation, and basic wants and tasks can create a very robust and complex system quickly. All we have to do from here is give the NPCs more things to do, like, and subscribe, and the schedule manager can send them off with little work on its part, just like a real manager would. Before you go, here's some dank concept art that has been shared by members of our Discord. I'll see you in the next one. As always, drop any requests in the comments or slide into the Discord.